Let's get a word with Marilyn Hawes, CEO of Freedom from Abuse. Marilyn, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I would imagine you are equally as angry about what has happened this week. Good afternoon.
Pretty much, yes. I think it's a shame about Jim Gamble. I know Jim, and I can understand the girls because he has this police background. But Jim is very straight talking. He would have been absolutely fantastic. It's a shame, but I can understand their sensitivity because the police failed them, the social workers failed them, anybody in the councils failed them. We are talking of hundreds and thousands of girls across the UK and some boys as well. But obviously, principally the girls, any child that gets abused. But these youngsters, now ladies, were abused on an industrial scale, and they're rape gangs. They're not grooming gangs. Let's not soften it down and minimise it. They are barbaric rape gangs. And I had an email today saying from somebody, oh, they're animals. No, they're not animals. Animals don't behave like this. They are absolutely vile, barbaric lumps of useless flesh. In my way. I mean, these people, like the police, the social workers, they called these girls child prostitutes. They said it was a life choice. Who in their right mind sees a child in front of them in any situation, bruised, ripped clothes, cuts, half drunk, crying, and sends them away saying it's their own fault? I mean, it's just every single person without fear or favour needs to be arrested, charged, and put behind bars. Now, it's a shame about because I don't think it's going to be possible for these ladies to all cohesively work together because everybody's on a different journey. Some people have been very broken by it. Other people are more resilient. Everyone's got different sensitivities and different levels of trauma. I have had 5 emails today from people who were abused in different settings completely. But this on the news daily is triggering ordinary people who are nothing to do with this. So they're triggering. I had a lady today who's now 70 odd, and nobody gave her support and no one listened to her. It is still the elephant in the room. No one wants to know. But I do not understand why Starmer hasn't got his backside up and sat in front of these girls, the main ones, and said, well, look, who do you want? You come up with some names. I mean, Maggie Oliver would be at the top of my list, even though she's not a lawyer. I think it should be judge-led. I see that, but I think Maggie should be part of that interaction and advocacy. I'd be happy to do it, but they won't want us because we would unravel the truth. That's what they want.
Yeah, and that I do sense that. And I know there is an argument that if somebody is so invested on, I was about to say either side, there is only one side of this argument, and that is the systemic abuse of young girls. But in terms of legally and defence and prosecution and all those kind, I know it's not a court case, but you take the point on this one, Marilyn. It would be seen, I suppose, that somebody like yourself or Maggie would be so animated and so understandably annoyed that they would suggest that no one would ever be able to get a word in any shape or form. I mean, and I don't say that insultingly because I 100% agree with you, but I would imagine that would be what might preclude you from chairing it.
I think you're probably right, but, you know, I have been in very high professional roles where I have had to roll my tongue in and just sit and sit. But, you know, anybody should be outraged, quite frankly. I mean, I don't see what this has got to do with Keir Starmer and how he sees it. What's it got to do with him? He hasn't been raped in his 10-year-old boy on an industrial basis, has he? How can anyone... I mean, I know he has to have a view, but I have to say about Jess Phillips, I'm sorry, she was appalling in Westminster the other day. And all right, she's done an awful lot for violence against women and girls. Like what?
Yeah.
Like what?
I do wonder.
Domestic abuse is at its highest. And I haven't seen any change over the 23 years. I had 19 years of domestic abuse. I haven't seen any change in what she's supposed to have said. And, you know, it's all the same. It's a load of hot air. But what I understood yesterday, which I think is actually outrageous, is that there are judges and barristers that don't want to take part in this inquiry. Now, that's not right. You are representing justice and the law. And why would you be running away from from it because, you might be tainted by something that didn't go right or something. That's not a reason to turn away from it. You should be up there banging your drum and fighting for right, and people be, flushed out and exposed. I mean, why can't Baroness Casey do it? Yeah. She did a great job, because when you go back to the ICSA inquiry, Alexis Jay did a good job, but with this particular subject, they didn't do a deep enough dive. It was skimmed over, and that's why we are where we are today. Yeah. People didn't go into it deep enough and look at it in real terms as they should have done. And why can't some of the child abuse lawyers? You've got child abuse barristers. Why can't they get involved in it?
Yeah. Well,
you can't go on for months trying to find the right person. Or are you trying to find the right person that they can silence and they can contain and stop them naming and shaming? That's how I think it is.
I mean, that's the problem, isn't it? Because there was already contention in this area, Marilyn, that there might be a widening of the inquiry to bring in other areas that are obviously they're important. But the wider, if you take away what is the prime focus of an inquiry as serious and specific as this, you would end up diluting what you're trying to get to. And that was, of course, very central.
Exactly. And also, I mean, we know even as we speak, there's children being sexually abused all over the country, and it's absolutely abhorrent. But this is exceptionally barbaric on an industrial scale. So these girls would have been picked up in taxis, taken around to what would be called anything but a safe house, where they would have been drugged, given alcohol, passed around like a tray of cakes to maybe 10 or 12 men, all 3 times older than them, and then thrown out and, maybe left abandoned in a bus shelter somewhere or half naked somewhere, with the threat that if you talk, your family will die. And they have killed some. They've killed some down in Oxford and in Shropshire, burnt houses and stuff like that. And, they are brutal people. And this is in a league of its own. And I don't think the scope should be widened. That it's completely separate. Yes, by all means. I mean, what a muck up they make of any child abuse, frankly, in the courts is absolutely shocking. And even now, you see, my fear would be that if we're talking about the certain ethnic people that this mainly implicates, we have a 2-tier policing and sentencing system, don't we? Will they walk as free as a daisy on a suspended sentence because there's not enough jail? So that then is going to be not good for the ladies. I mean, it's an absolute dog's dinner. It really is. And I feel desperately sorry for these girls, desperately.
And you can't help but think about the kind of, I don't want to use the word conspiracy, but ineptitude maybe, where there's no real, because we're not, this is an inquiry that isn't just about the victims and the abusers, but this is about the system that let them down. So Absolutely. This is about educationalists, law enforcement, social workers, councils, local authorities, etc. So it's about all of that. And there is these people have a PhD in groupthink, don't they? They kind of sing from a rather bizarre sort of hymn sheet, and covering up your institution. We've seen this time and time again, from the post office to the blood scandal.
Absolutely.
Is central to how these people work. I don't even think they know they're doing it sometimes. They are so ingrained with that DNA that's what you do first.
I think they've got a PhD in avoidance. That's what I think.
Yeah,
and I think
100%.
A lot of ministers, I think a lot of young people, oh my God, the number of people that have said to me, why don't you stand for MP? No, thanks, because I'm not corrupt. I think a lot of people do maybe go into politics with a genuine idea that they can change and they can do this, and they get into the system in Westminster and you can't change anything because it's so ingrained and it's so corrupt. I mean, it has been Tony Blair. They point everything at the Tories. I've never known anyone in the 23 years of doing my job, I've never known anyone who's in power deal effectively with abused children or the prevention of it. And it sucks. It does. Really does.
It does.
Terrible.
Marilyn, listen, always great to get your views. It's a qualified view and it's always a very passionate one, and so it darn well should be on cases such as this. The brilliant Marilyn Horse, CEO of Freedom from Abuse, her take on all of this, 0344 499 1000.